Hi, I'm Donna Alexander again, and this is Senior Moments. Today I have a good friend with me. Her name is Kim Dyson May, and Kim is the owner of Home Care Assistance. So welcome, Kim. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
And tell us about your company. What is it that you do, and how do you help seniors?
Home Care Assistance, I am a franchise. So there are over 200 of us in the United States, and now we are also in Puerto Rico, Canada, Australia, and Germany.
Wow.
So it's very interesting to see how healthcare is working around the world. It's not just a national problem, it's a global problem. We're aging. As a society, we are aging with baby boomers coming up. Mm-hmm. So it's an interesting fact. I love this statistic. Right now, there are more individuals over the age of 85 alive than under the age of 5.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
That's a mind-blowing statistic,
That is
isn't it?
mind-blowing.
So as we're aging, a few other things that are happening in regard to dementia. So over, 10 million people right now have Alzheimer's in the United States, and that number's growing. So, but 1 out of 3 individuals over the age of 85 have some form of dementia, and 1 out of 9 over the age of 65.
Oh.
So, this is changing our society. There's a new normal that's occurring. So we do something. I am a dementia live coach.
Okay.
So what this is, we have equipment, we have tools, so that we can give someone an actual experience. It's a simulation that we take you through, so that you actually feel as though you have dementia. We put on special goggles, as well as headgear that brings in noise to bring confusion, mm-hmm. and then special gloves so that the tactile abilities are also affected. And then we give you a series of tasks. And this is a life-changing experience. So many people, when we have a family member maybe that's going through dementia, when mom and dad age, we just want mom and dad to be mom and dad. Don't change.
Right.
And we have this expectation. And as a spouse, I've watched my own father just want my mother to be mom, be Helen, be the woman I've been married to 72 years, who has always done things this way. And he has that expectation, and he gets angry with her when she doesn't perform as he expects. And so without a clear understanding of what the person, as my mother, without a clear understanding of what she's going through, we may not have the empathy that's necessary to be the best caregiver that we could be.
Well, that is very important. And I remember when my mom was going through it, I kept trying to make it like it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'd buy her the things just the way she used to, and she couldn't use them anymore. She couldn't remember how to use them or things like that.
Right.
And it is hard for the family, I think, to admit maybe that there's a change, but then to realize what they're going through. So I think that I wish I had been able to do that mm-hmm. prior to Mother getting sick.
Right. Well, and we have families that call us and say, my brother is mean to my mother. And, could you help with this situation? So, these are things that we step in. We go into facilities and take this to the employees and the staff members in some of the facilities here in town, as well as businesses. And we've been to the Rotary Club, civic organizations. The intent is to provide the education so that people understand, so that we become more accepting of this new normal. Mm-hmm. Recently in Amarillo, there was a family that was asked to leave a restaurant. And this was because the father was acting out. He had dementia. Mm-hmm. And the business owners, the managers in the restaurant didn't have an understanding.
Right.
And so I have a passion, and it's my desire to educate individuals and this community so that we will know how to be better business owners, how to be better neighbors, friends, better community, and better family members, so that with family, you think about holidays or when we go visit our family members, whether it's in a facility or in their own home, we want to make the most of that time. Right? And so it's really important if you understand what they're going through, and you understand that mom may not be able to talk to me about what happened yesterday, but maybe she can talk to me about what happened when she was 15, right? Mm-hmm. And so they can't come to where we are and engage. But the beautiful thing that we have, the gift, is that we can go to where they are and we can engage with them there and learn so many things that maybe we didn't know about them, because those are the dominant things that are occupying their mind and their memory. So, just learning how to accept the new normal and to love our family member as they are, rather than spending all of our time kicking against the goads,
Right.
wanting them to be who they used to be.
Yeah, I can see that. And as a business person, I can see that the benefit to understanding when I'm trying to explain a transaction to someone who's got some dementia. You have to try different things to make it happen. And so I can see from a business standpoint that we all are going to have to adjust.
Yes,
to
absolutely.
make things work best for them. So
so this is something that I'm offering now. My company, my business is Home Care Assistance.
Okay.
Right. So back to the company.
Okay.
At Home Care Assistance, what we do is we go into individuals' homes, wherever they call home, and we provide that care. So Dementia Live is something that's my passion, that I do, and I would love to speak at any civic organization, any community event, any churches. I've gone into churches. So anyone that would like to have an excellent program. I've been told by the Rotary Club that it was the best program they'd ever had. So I'm pretty proud
That's
of that.
high praise.
That's pretty high praise from a bunch of senior gentlemen.
That's very high
So
praise.
I'll take that one. Not to toot my own horn, but yeah.
It's okay. Toot away.
Toot away. So, but back to Home Care Assistance then. What we do, I have caregivers, and that many of them are CNAs, many of them are licensed, not all. I have a PAS license, which is Personal Assistance Services, and that's through the state of Texas. Now, I'm non-medical, so
Okay.
the difference is there's home health and then there's home care. So if a senior is in the hospital or they become ill, the doctor will prescribe home health, right, for that. And that agency will come in. But home health comes in, they'll send in nurses, maybe therapists to come in and check on your loved one, but they don't stay. So the scary part is when everybody leaves, who's helping mom and dad, who's making sure that they don't fall, that they eat. There are so many things, the causes of dementia many times are that we're not eating well, we're not drinking water. UTIs, that is a huge, huge issue.
That's unbelievable. What I learned about UTIs alone just floored me. How much it can affect the dementia and the brain, and
yes,
it's amazing.
And when you're around a senior and maybe they're acting a little crazy, and you're like, what's going on? Many times my first thought is it's a UTI, and most of the time it's right.
I got to where when Mom, I could tell just by visiting with her for just 5 minutes, I could say there is something wrong. She's not quite right, and from experience, I learned to tell the doctor, test her for this.
Yes,
and it always was UTI.
Yeah, and it's so dangerous for them. Something like that. They can start a downward progression, and it's just it can be
hard
a scary
to get back
thing.
up,
It's hard to come back the older we get. The same thing with a fall. We are at risk, and with a UTI, then we're even more at risk to fall.
Right.
So it just grows, and if we're not eating, and so then also if we're not eating right, not taking care of ourselves, that also feeds dementia, right? So the issues just continue to grow. But when you bring in an agency such as ours, our caregivers are there. They can be there a few hours, up to 24/7. We go into some homes 24/7 because the families feel that is what is needed. But we come in and I have an RN that is also my client care manager, but we will come in and do an assessment and evaluate the situation with the family, and then we design a plan that everyone is agreeable to, that they feel, will help their situation. Now, no, not every mom and dad are okay with this. Okay? That is a struggle.
Really?
I spend a great deal of my time working with families and coaching them through the process of helping mom and dad. I mean, my own father, last week was the first time he spoke to me in over a year. We hit a place where we had to take the keys away. And that loss of independence, he's in a wheelchair. My mother has dementia, but my father believed if they got into their mobility van, if he got into his spot, he could coach mother through how to drive, and they could go anywhere they wanted.
Oh, goodness.
So, but this is the mindset sometimes of seniors, that we don't want to give up our independence.
Right.
I'm not going to want to give up mine.
Nope.
And so we fight for it. We fight to live. That's who we are. So, some people will want to stay home. Now, and I dealt with this just today. Some individuals, in regard to money, they're worried about their finances.
Right.
So for our services, it is private pay. Now, there's no government funding for care in your home, right? There is, and there's also not a lot of government funding for assisted living or some of these other situations, right?
You're right.
So what happens with us, people sometimes will start thinking, oh, I don't have enough money. I can't afford this. I can't afford this. But so many times people are still thinking in terms of 20 years, 30 years. That's the mindset. We're always saving. And so to remind seniors and bring them to the place that they understand, I'm not planning for the next 20. This is what I've planned for my whole life. This is when I want to take everything that I have and I want to live life as well as I can right now, because this is it, right? And live it where I want to live it and how I want to live it. And so that is a whole nother level of transformation, I would almost say, because you have to accept this is it. Mm-hmm. This is it. And so many times people are afraid of spending the money for private care such as ours. But think about this. Ours is one-on-one care. If someone's in a facility, the caregiver numbers, depending on the facility, they could be 30 to 1, Mm-hmm. And some it might be 8 to 1. But that person is not getting the same kind of care that they're going to get in a one-on-one. So it's obvious one-on-one care is going to be the best kind of care.
Sure it is.
And we all want the best care for our family members.
Well, and they get to stay at home in their own familiar surroundings.
Yes, and that is so important. My mother was a nursing home administrator, and something that she always, said to me, there were two things. One was that whatever's on the inside as we age, it's really amplified. And so I always have this caution of, I better be nice now because I want to be nice later, So that's one thing. But the other thing she always said was that when you move elderly individuals from place to place, it's a really difficult transition for them. And for them to make it that change, that transition from home to a facility, that's a very difficult transition. And sometimes it's from home to the hospital to facility, then back.
Well, then there's rehab thrown in, there's other things. And
yes, yeah. And it's so confusing. It's so, it's just
hard
very
on family too.
Yes.
It's a very difficult thing.
It is. And then family needs to go visit them, and it's hard to go to the hospitals, it's hard to go to facilities. So again, another reason to have them at home, and so you bring in a company such as ours, Home Care Assistants, and our caregivers, they are licensed, they have background checks, we do drug screenings, and they will come in and provide the care that we provide. Again, it's personal assistance. So grooming, bathing, we'll do meal preparation, light housekeeping, take you to the doctors, transportation, do your shopping, all of these things. Another thing that elderly individuals, many times they don't want to take a bath. And that's very common. As we age, we don't like the water. We just don't want to. And I get those calls from families all the time that mom just won't, she refuses to get in the bath or in the shower.
Are they cold? Are they scared? Are they...
They just don't like it anymore.
They just
don't like it.
Imagine.
It's not that, yes, they'll forget without being prompted, but even I had a caregiver this morning. I had to go over to the house because the lady was refusing to take a shower.
Wow.
And it's been some time. I had another family, it had been 3 months since Dad had a shower. And so they are thrilled because my caregiver came in and got Dad to take a shower.
I'm
so
sure
she's
whatever
a superhero.
That cost was well worth it.
Yes, they actually called and said, "Can I give her a bonus?" They were so thrilled with what the caregiver had done.
Well, good for them.
So there are many things. It's difficult for us as family members. It's hard for me with my own family.
Right.
With my own mom and dad, I'm great at helping everybody else, but I step into daughter role, frustrated family member role when I go take care of my own mom and dad, right? But I think it helps families. Again, an individual called today and when I went over the pricing and everything with her, she said, "That sounds great. I'll pay anything. I'll pay you more than that. I just don't want to do this anymore. She said, she spoke with her mother this morning and said, Mom, wouldn't it be nice if I could just come in and just sit down and we could visit?
Right.
And I wasn't having to worry about, doing your laundry and getting you in the shower and getting all of your meals prepared and, running the errands. So just this whole list. And so she is so excited that we're going to start coming in and taking care of her.
And, I think that's a very important point. I remember with Mom one time, she said, can't you just sit down and us visit? And I was so frustrated. And it's like, Mom, I want to sit down and visit, but you've given me this long list of things that need to be done. And I have my own list of things to be done.
Exactly.
And so one of the best things I ever did was turn some of that over to somebody else. And then we did get to start visiting. And I do think that's well worth the time and money and whatever it takes to get to that point. I do think it's well worth it.
Well, and this is hardest. This process, it's difficult on the individual, absolutely. But it's very difficult on the family members and then the family members that become the caregiver. Mm-hmm. You lose sight of that relationship. One friend shared with me, he couldn't even remember his mom before the illness.
Right.
One family had us come in specifically because their mother was in hospice. She was dying, and they didn't want their father's last memories of his wife to be, this illness and having to care for her. They wanted him to be able to just enjoy the time he had with his wife.
And think back to those better times.
Yes. So our services, we're the people that can do that for you. My caregivers are amazing. They're an amazing team of people. I hire individuals. Something that I always say is, I do this to honor my mother. Mm-hmm. My mom was a nursing home administrator, and she taught me, from the time I was 5 years old, she taught me to go into the nursing home and clip toenails, or play bingo, or I was always caring for people. And my mother just taught me how to love and how to love well. And as I have begun this business for the last couple of years, as I bring in employees and caregivers, the first thing I say is, we're here to honor the heart of my mother. That's what I want you to do. And I want you to be someone who is going to love unconditionally, who's going to care for someone else more than you care for yourself, And I am only going to put people in homes with my clients that I would trust with my own parents. That's just rule number one. Rule number one.
Well, good. Was there anything else you wanted to tell us about your company? I can see you tearing up again.
No, I'm not. I'm blessed. I'm so blessed to have this opportunity to do this. Mm-hmm. And someone said to me the other day, they said, everybody can't do this. There's days, this isn't the easiest. No. This isn't the easiest. I spend a lot of time in difficult situations, right? But at the same time, it's such a blessing, and that I get to spend time. And many times it may be the last few years or moments, whatever it is, mm-hmm. with someone in their life, but what an honor to get to share that time with that individual and to get to be their friend, and I have made some amazing friends. So I just feel very blessed. But someone had said to me the other day, everybody can't do this. When I was questioning, am I supposed to do this? What am I doing? What have I done to my life? But someone said, everybody can't do it, and I just stopped and I thought about that. And that's kind of true. What I have focused on is everything that we go through in our life prepares us. Mm-hmm. All of our experiences come together and prepare us for where we are in this moment right now, right?
I think so.
It's a culmination of all of this. Mm-hmm. And so here we sit, absolutely prepared for whatever faces us when we walk out of here.
Whether you think you are or not.
Whether we think we are or not. And my word for this year, I shared with you earlier, is positive. And I just feel that it's so important that we just have this positive outlook, mm-hmm. Whatever lies ahead of us, whether you're struggling with something with a family member, if your parents are aging, if you're the person, every single person, this is another thing, every single person that I visit with says this to me: I wasn't expecting this. Where did this come from? How did this happen? None of us expect to age.
Right. Yeah, it's a surprise.
It is. Everybody.
We've been given clues. We just ignore them.
Yes, and the family, the families are like, Mom and Dad were driving themselves to dinner yesterday. What's happened?
Right.
But then the individuals themselves, my mom and dad, they're 90 and 88 and still sit there and they think of themselves as they're 20. That's how they view themselves, and they don't understand. I took my dad to the emergency room not very long ago, and he laid there and he said, I just want to do it all over again.
Aw.
And I said, I wish you could, Daddy. I wish you could. But there's only one way in and one way out. And we all have to face the truth of it. Mm-hmm. And so I think another big thing is it's so important to pre-plan. People fail to plan for this, and then you get into this overwhelmed state, and it's just these knee-jerk reactions,
right?
Rather than preparing, So people call me all the time, and you don't have to need services today. You may be thinking towards services, in the next 2 or 3 years, but call me. We can talk through it. We can look at the options that are available. I find myself doing a lot of just kind of advising and talking with people about what their options are. So I view my office as kind of a senior resource center. I spend a lot of time just sharing with individuals what's available out there and what their options are. So that's something that I've done, is just we lay it out, and it's like, talk to you and say, okay, here's a couple of houses that I know are available. This might be a good scenario. Here's a assisted living. Here's a nursing home. Here are your options. Let's look at all of it, and let's talk about what you want. How do you want to live the rest of your days?
And I do presentations a lot too on pre-planning, because I do think if you're not looking forward to it, it's going to surprise you.
Yeah.
And it is always it costs more than they think, and they're so unprepared, and they don't know what the options are, So I do think that's very important. Right. And just on behalf of the rest of the community, you are certainly a blessing to the seniors and to those of us who work with them. Your name comes up often and always with very glowing remarks, and so you are also a blessing. They may be a blessing to you, but you're a blessing to us too. How's the best way for us to connect with you, Kim?
We are located in the Summit Shopping Center at 34th and Coulter. If you'd like to come by, you're always welcome to come by the office and visit with us. We're right next door to the BSA Urgent Care. I always tell everyone we're near TJ Maxx. Everybody knows where TJ Maxx is, or Jason's Deli. But then our phone number, 806-803-9991. You can call 24 hours. I'll answer if it's after 9 to 5. But our office hours are 9 to 5. And we are also online. You can look for us online. It's homecareassistanceamarillo.com. We're also on Facebook. You can connect with us there.
Okay, and don't forget, if you're interested in having her do a presentation on the Dementia Live, that's, I've been told, a very powerful thing that we all should go to. And that is my plan. That's my resolution this year, is to do that with Kim. So thank you for being here, Kim. We appreciate it. And I'm Donna Alexander, and this is Senior Moments.